Hey everyone, it's me, Willow, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm finally doing my promised video that I mentioned a couple videos back about comic books. And if you know me, you know that I definitely love comic books. I hate how overly priced they were, as back in the day they were like 50 cents and now they're like $5 to get a small little thing. But I love them. I love Star Wars, Marvel, and DC, all those types of comics. And I am going to try and start doing monthly reviews on 2 comic book series. Going to start 3 because there's a comic book coming out tomorrow as I'm filming this. And I'm going to start trying to do a review for every single issue that comes out. But first, I just want to talk about a couple things before I get into that. So currently I am reading Bloodlines by Claudia Gray. And it is a Star Wars book, if you guys didn't know, about Princess Leia, and it's about 6 years before The Force Awakens takes place. So it just talks about her and like her life in the politics and how she kind of stops trying to do that in this time period, and she wants to go off with Han, and then obviously they have Ben Solo who turns into Kylo Ren. So I'm currently reading this, trying to avoid as many spoilers as possible, but once I finish this, I'm definitely going to do a review, and I promise I will do a review. I make promises all the time, and I never fulfill them, but I want to do one for this one. And it may take me a while because I'm doing exams and I just got off a play, and that's why I've been really busy lately. But once summer comes on, I have a whole list of books that I want to read, and this is definitely number 1, and I'm going to review it. The other thing is I'm listening to the audiobook of The Force Awakens by Alan Dean Foster. I'm about halfway through it. I kind of just listen to it on and off, and it's actually really good. It's kind of helpful because I just put it on the background when I'm doing work and stuff in my bedroom, and it's much more convenient than reading the book. So I may do a review on that. I'm not 100% sure because it's basically just every single thing that's in the movie, but it's just in like audiobook form. Another 2 things before I actually talk about the specific comic books that I'm going to be reviewing monthly, hopefully. I am currently reading these 2 comic books. I haven't started Lando, but I've started this one probably about halfway through, and this one is Star Wars Skywalker Strikes, and this is actually a series, and I think this is the first edition. I don't think the second one's out yet, but it's really good so far, and it's kind of just, I believe it's in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and it's kind of just Han, Leia, and Luke going on an adventure, and I may do a review for this. Hopefully I probably will in the future. Don't expect it, but I would like to. I'm just suggesting this book as a really good one. And then Star Wars Lando. So I heard about this back last year when I was reading the Princess Leia comic books. This was advertised in one of her comic books. I bought the first one as a small one, and then I didn't continue on with it. And recently I went to a Kohl's and I actually bought it. As all those other stuff that I just showed you are from my local library, I actually have this copy for my own, and I'm going to eventually read it and hopefully do a review on that. I may mash these 2 reviews together if I end up doing reviews for them. Okay, so to do the comic books that I'm actually going to hopefully be doing monthly reviews on, it is 2 different series, hopefully 3, starting tomorrow, as the new Han Solo comic book comes out tomorrow, which is June 15th. So anybody who's watching this in the future, make sure you have issue number 1 of June, on June 15th, which is when Han Solo comes out. So excited about that when I first heard about it. I have no idea what it's about, but I'm so excited for it. But the two ones that I'm currently reading are Poe Dameron and Mockingbird. So Poe Dameron is basically before The Force Awakens, and it's very, very cool. I'm going to take it out of the plastic. So just to let you guys know, I've only read issue 1 and 2 for both of them. I have issue number 3 and haven't gotten to reading it. I just got it this week and I haven't read it. So I will not be talking about this. I will probably talk about this one and number 4 when 4 comes out and I finally read it. So I'm just going to set number 3, sorry, aside of Mockingbird and Poe Dameron. But to do issue number 1 of Poe Dameron. I just want to try and find the author for you guys. So the writer of this one is Charles Soule? Not 100% sure, but Soule and Note. This is what this one says. Yeah, Soule and Note. So this is a really cool comic book series. I like it. Anybody who likes Poe Dameron and was upset with the amount that we got in Force Awakens, reading this is actually kind of really helpful, and to kind of know his backstory a little bit. To suggest another comic book to read before reading this, it's called Shattered Empire, and it basically takes place right after Endor in Return of the Jedi. So it's kind of like Han and Leia trying to clean it up, but the main characters are actually Poe's parents, and it gives you a backstory on Poe and Poe's parents, and very, very interesting, very good comic book. I definitely recommend it before reading this, because then you have a little bit of backstory on him. But it's very cool. Basically, spoilers for this comic book series, Poe is just, he's on a mission from Princess Leia, and he's trying to find this guy, and this is the guy that he talks to at the very, very beginning of The Force Awakens. And so he's trying to find him, and he's going to this tourist place, like this kind of like temple type place, to try and find him, because that was like the last place he was seen. And what happens is he gets stuck there because they're not giving him information and everything, and then we find out that the Empire is coming and has found him because they're tracking him on his ship. And so the Empire are coming to try and get Poe, because obviously he's part of the Resistance. But what I also like about it is that the other rogues are in it. So I don't know what squadron they are. Like Yellow Squadron, I think that's what they're called. Or Red Squadron, I don't know. Black Squadron, something. I think Poe's Black Squadron, or whatever. But I like it because we got some female. We have, Jess. We have some Jess in it. And then we have this guy. What I don't remember what his name is. What's his name? Care? I'm not 100% sure if that's his name, but it's this like green. Where is he on the cover of something? This green alien guy. He's actually in Shattered Empire. So if you read Shattered Empire before reading this, you see kind of like the interswiping of the two comic books. But so the Empire starts coming to find him, and that's what leaves off in issue number 1. There's also this little mini comic book at the end of BB-8 finding these two resistant people and making them fall in love. And then obviously at the very end they tell you when the next issue is coming out. So that's number 1 of Poe Dameron. And number 2 is kind of just obviously takes place back up. So the Empire actually comes into this temple and tries to find Poe. Poe is hidden, and the leader of the temple is like, no, we're peaceful, like we don't know who you're talking about, this guy's not here. And the leader of the Empire is like, of this Empire group is like, I don't know what you're talking about, I have him tracked here, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to destroy your egg. So this temple has this big egg type thing in their temple, and it's kind of, they worship it and they believe that it's kind of like their god type thing. So they start like burning the egg to make scrambled eggs basically, and Poe comes out of hiding and starts talking, trying to negotiate sort of, and the guy's like, oh, we don't negotiate, but up above the rogues are trying to dismantle the Empire and all the ships that are surrounding the base. So what happens is the rogues destroy all of that, and Poe's like, haha, like I got you. But then the Empire guy is like, you know what, I actually have you, because I have a whole star fleet heading towards the planet. So that's where we were left off with a whole star fleet coming to get Poe and the rest of the Resistance members. So that's happened in issue 1 and 2 of Poe Dameron. Obviously, I don't know what happens in issue number 3, and I will talk about it when I have read this one and issue number 4. I believe it's only a 5-part series. I'm not 100% sure, but you'll eventually find out if they stop making them. So, to talk about Mockingbird, I actually went into the store to get this Poe Dameron specifically because I knew about it for a long time and I really wanted to read it. Mockingbird was just there and I just randomly picked it up and I fell in love with it. What I really like about it is that it's written by a female and this is her first comic book ever. She's never written before. I don't know if they have her name. Her name is Chelsea Kane. She's phenomenal. And what I really like about it is that this series is, she's very interactive with her audience. She always has little clues and stuff. And then at the end, she has like an email and a letter. So in the first issue, she has a whole letter. And it's basically her just explaining, this is my first comic book. And I really wanted to do Bobby because of how they haven't given her enough justice in the past in comic books. So I really wanted to do a new type of Bobby. And this is a puzzle box type of comic book, where you read the first issue and you get the ending of the story, but you don't know how it ended up. So you have to read the rest of the 4 issues, because it's 5 issues, and by the time you finish, you'll go back to the first issue to finally read the whole thing. And that's something I really like. And what I also like is, like I said, she's very interactive. So what she has is, at the end of her comic books, she has a section where people can send in emails and she can answer them. So I think that's phenomenal. Like, very, very nice. She's just so cool. And like I said, I just think it's very interesting how they do the puzzle box and how we're going to end up coming back to issue number 1 to find all the pieces. And I also think this is funny because, like, she does like clues and stuff, and it's all kind of set in this medical hospital, because what happens is Bobby has this beeper and she's kind of on, like, I guess she has this, like, the super soldier serum in her, and every single time they do random checkups on her and her beeper goes, and it always beeps at the wrong time. So she'll be in the middle of a fight and it will beep and she'll have to immediately go to a local SHIELD medical center. So at the beginning it just always has like the people and whatever that write it and stuff and kind of the summary, but it's on like a prescription type thing. And then the very first page I think is hilarious because we have Tony Stark, we have Gambit and Howard the Duck, and this one's funny because Tony Stark is reading a pamphlet on gonorrhea, which is hilarious. I don't really know how to describe this one because it's kind of her just getting tested and stuff for paranoia, and eventually her paranoia just keeps like growing bigger and bigger. And what happened is she's lying during her test and stuff, so like she's bleeding in the ears and she's not telling them, and you can slowly see that she's starting to drink more. Like, she drank 1 bottle a day and now she's drinking like 3 bottles a day or something like that, and it's very psyche. And what happens is there's this like ball, like pinball ball, and she's like starting to move it with her mind. And then again here for another medical scene we got Black Widow telling her she has some nice boots, and Gambit again, and her results are coming up even worse as they were before. And by the end of the first issue, she starts seeing these zombie-like things. And it's like she has these powers to control them. But it actually looks like it's actual people. So she's like imagining them as zombies, but they're actually just the workers, and she's kind of going crazy. So I don't exactly know how this comic book is going, but issue number 2 kind of shows us how the beginning of her treatment starts, because obviously that's just the first one is a sum up of all 5 issues. I know for sure this is 5 because Chelsea said it was 5. But, like, again, this is kind of just the prescription stuff. And this one's hilarious because we have we have some Hunter Lance. Yeah. And like, I don't even know what to call this type of thing. Like some torture chamber sorority type place. And he's trying to get into it because he's undercover or whatever. And Bobby's also undercover and actually going to go save her. And they're just arguing back and forth like Hunter and Bobby always do. And by the end, they're fighting against each other. Obviously, they get the bad guys in the end. And what happens at the very end is they're gonna have sex. And so right there, they're gonna have some sex. And her beeper goes off, and she has to leave. And she has Hunter handcuffed to the bed, and she ends up having to leave because her beeper goes off. And I just think it's hilarious, because that's how it does. And then also they have like a little kind of like doll paper cutout, stuff that you can dress her up in, which is super cool. And I just love how interactive this is with the fans. And any true Marvel fan will know that and see the clues, like the little hints and stuff, and be like, I understand. So these two comic books are phenomenal right now. Just perfect. Totally suggest them. And like I said, Han Solo comes out tomorrow when I'm filming this, June 15th. And hopefully I'll be able to go get that tomorrow or in the next couple days. And then read that. And then do a review for it. And I know this is kind of, hopefully I'm talking well enough, because obviously these are very short type of comic books. So hopefully I'm giving a detailed enough description. But yeah, I'm going to hopefully be doing reviews for these, maybe every couple issues that come out. But yeah, and then I will definitely be doing a review on Bloodlines. So yeah, this is just kind of the promised video that I really wanted to make and just talk about. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Leave down comics that you guys like, and maybe I'll check them out and talk about them in a future video. But yeah, like I said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!